I'm Bea,
And I'm Sam.
and we're two best friends who like to talk shit about smut, wingspan.
And sometimes books.
And welcome to our Author Spotlight, where twice a month we like to sit down to talk about our favourite books.
Completely spoiler free and the perfect way to top up the TBR.
Hello.
You okay?
Yeah. Oh, it's been a while since we've done one of these, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. It's been a hot fucking minute since we've done one of these.
Yeah.
We haven't done one of these since pre-break.
Yeah, we have. We did it remotely.
But right at the beginning of, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is technically, no, it's not. It's not the last one of the season.
Penultimate.
The penultimate. My one is the last one of the season.
It is.
We swapped around, guys, because Sam read the wrong book.
I read the wrong month. I started reading this book a month ago.
Yeah.
So a little bit about Aimee. Aimee Clinton is the author of adult fantasy romance series Wings and Whispers and The Cursed Queen. Hailing from Liverpool, England, Aimee spent the majority of her childhood in the saddle or wandering the country parks pretending to be the lady of the manor. Sadly, as she got older, she realised that an immortal prince was never going to sweep her away on a magical adventure, and she took matters into her own hands. These days, she spends her days writing about all things swoony and magical. When she's not writing, she enjoys indulging in a spot of art. Visit her socials to see some of her work, including her own character art, trying to stay aboard feisty horses and catering to the whims of her pet hamsters. Aimee lives in the UK with her husband, children, and a menagerie of pampered pets. And Prince of the Tower is book one of the Wings and Whispers series, which is going to be 4 books. 3 are out at the moment and 1 comes out next year, 2026. And The Cursed Queen, I believe, is a finished series, and that is also 4 books.
Prince of the Tower. One kiss will unravel the threads of destiny. When a freak accident lands university graduate Eliza in a magical land full of savage beasts and supernatural beings, her only wish is to find her way home. That is until a witch ensnares her in a deadly quest to break a curse and save the mysterious world from the grip of a vicious tyrant. The Fey Prince has spent centuries trapped in an enchanted slumber, leaving his people at the mercy of a wicked sorcerer. An ancient prophecy speaks of a human woman destined to rid the kingdom of evil, but not all sleeping things should be woken. If Eliza can succeed in breaking the curse, she will finally be free to return home. There's just one problem, an ember of growing desire that promises salvation or destruction.
Ooh.
So basically, it's Sleeping Beauty, but he's the Sleeping Beauty, and she's got to awaken the prince with a kiss.
Love that.
So, as we said, we have Eliza, who is our FMC, and we start in the real world. She's a veterinary nurse in university, and they're close to graduation, and her and 2 of her friends decide to go camping, and she's like, I fucking hate camping, I hate the outdoors, like I don't want to be sleeping on the floor, I don't want to be out in nature.
Yeah.
But one of her friends really wants to go, so the 3 of them go, and they camp near what is known as like a fairy glen. And one of her friends really believes in fairies and believes like there's always been like fairy tales basically of this sleeping prince in another land, and she thinks that this fairy glen is like a portal to this other world, and that's why she chooses there to camp, and she really believes in it. And Eliza, her inner monologue is so funny because she's like, what a load of fucking drivel, like fuck off. But she goes, they go hiking through this fairy glen, and it's like loads of cave systems, and she loses her 2 friends in the cave systems, and she falls. And she's like sliding down these rocks and whatever. And she lands on grass, and she's like in this enchanted forest, basically. And she's like, what the fuck? She's like, oh, I'm concussed. I'm really concussed. And the first thing she sees is like monsters in the woods, like black shapes, and she doesn't know what they are. but she sees loads of like little fairies, as in like Tinkerbell fairies, like little fairies, and they're like trying to pull at her and pull in her hair to like try and get her to safety. And she like slaps one of them because like she's like, what the fuck is going on? And they all get really mad at her, so they all go. They're like, fuck you, we're not helping you, and off they go. So she's like, right, I don't know where I am, I don't know what's going on, but I'm clearly concussed. And she climbs up this tree to like get a better vantage point and like find out what's going on. And a guy appears and she's like, fuck, like, who are you? And he's French, and I don't know. His name is Jacques. And I just love that he's French because he's really funny. Like he calls her like Mon Cherie and stuff. And he gives her his black leather jacket because she's so cold, and then he disappears. And she's like, okay, cool. So she wakes up the next morning and she's still in this forest, and she's like, oh, a long concussion. She's like, I'm going to go and try and find help. I'm going to follow the river and see if I can find help. So she follows this river for ages, and then she sees a little cottage, like in the middle of nowhere on its own. She's like, right, whoever's in there, they can help me. So up she goes, she knocks the door, a woman answers the door, and she's like, where have you come from? And she's like, oh, I fell. I was in the caves and I fell into this forest, and I think I must be concussed because I'm sure I'm seeing things. And she's like, oh, come in. She's like, oh, brilliant. Like, this woman's going to help me. And the woman's making tea and whatever. And she's basically a witch, sage. And she's like, you're coming with me. You're coming to my coven where all the witches are because you're the answer to this curse. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I'm definitely concussed. Like, she's like obviously like making things move and, you know, like using magic. And she's like, oh my God, I've died. I must be dead. So she says, basically this realm was run by a king, and he had 2 sons, and his brother was really jealous and found a way to dethrone him. Uncle, because he can't kill his nephews and take the throne that way, he puts them into a deep slumber. And says that they can only be woken by a human queen, and he's now like ruling like with tyranny, like killing people and like starving people, you know, and like tamping down on magic. So everyone's like really suffering, basically. Like the lands are suffering. So they're like, you have to stay and come with us because you need to wake these princes up. And she's like, no, take me home. She's like, no, all the portals are sealed. We don't know how you fell through. It must have been like a rift. Like, you're not going home. You have to come with us. So she takes her to where all these witches are to see like the matron of the witches. And they start plotting on how they can find the princes because no one knows where they are, and how she can wake them up.
I'm guessing you're going to stop there.
Yeah, I think so. But
I feel like that's a good, well-rounded, like, if that doesn't win you over, then I don't know what will, to be honest.
I thought I'd written down the realms. So we have 5 courts: the spring court, the summer court, the autumn court, the winter court, and the witch kingdom. But they're Tir o Gwanwyn, Tir o Half, Tir o Hyfryd, and Tir o Gaeaf.
Nice.
And then Ymyl Cefnfor.
I'd need to see it.
For the witch kingdom, Cefnfor.
Cefnfor. Cefnfor.
Ymyl Cefnfor for the witch kingdom. And then Rodd and Farwell, which is like a thing in this kingdom. And then the names, we have Anwyr, Maelgwyn, Idris, Taran, and Celyn.
So,
I don't know. I was trying to look on her website to see like where the Welsh comes from, but I don't know.
But if she's from Liverpool up north, she's not far, is she? So she could be right on the border.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I just thought that was so interesting.
Love it, Cymraeg.
Yeah. And my last little fun thing is it's not like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. They've all got names, and the first one is go camping, they said.
Oh, that's so
and
funny.
like it's really funny. And the one where she finds the cottage, the name of the chapter is It's Giving Hansel and Gretel.
I love that.
One's called Blink Twice If You Need Help. They're really witty.
Yeah, I love
it's really funny.
Love that.
New dress, who's this? That's one of the names of the
That's
chapters.
so funny.
Yeah, it's really good.
I love it. So where can everyone find Prince of the Tower?
Is on Kindle Unlimited.
Woo-woo!
We love a Kindle Unlimited book. If you're not on Kindle Unlimited, it is $1.99
Bargain.
to buy on Kindle. If you want the paperback, which is gorge.
Yeah, so I know we say this about like everyone we get sent, but it's because we truly believe them. Like we're very lucky to have so many beautiful paperbacks. But these are stunning. And what I love is like it's a colour palette that we don't see in fantasy romance very often.
So the paperback's $11.99.
Bargain. I'm so gonna get these when it's a finished set.
The paperback for Prince of the Tower is like a pale pink and then like silver and silver wings. Like it's gorge. But then I don't know if you've seen the others.
Yes, one's lavender, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. One is like a pale lilac lavender. Which is book 2, Queen of the Undying.
Stunning.
And then book 3 is Gods of the Evermore, and that is like a really pale blue. But then the silver's like twined with like pink and lavender, so like pulling from the previous 2 books. And then the lavender one is silver with pink for the previous book. And then the last book, King of the Embers, she hasn't done a cover reveal, but it's the gradient of all the books so far. So it goes pink to purple to the blue, and then it's green. So I'm assuming the last one's going to be green. But they're all like pastel-y colours. They're gorgeous.
They're book covers for girly pops.
Oh my God, yeah. They're book covers that you want displayed like face out so that you can see them all. Because
I'm getting my hands on these without a doubt.
Yeah. The paperbacks for book 2 and 3 are $14.99, but they're all on KU.
Bargain.
So,
we love it.
So far, everything is KU, and I believe book 4, I think she's going to follow suit and also be on KU. And then she's got another series, which is The Cursed Queen, which I believe is like a vampire series. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm almost certain that it's vampires.
How many books is in that?
4 so far.
Nice.
It might be done. Apologies, I haven't done my research here. A princess hidden in the shadows, a warlord with a secret, a kingdom on the brink of ruin. Vespera, the Fae King's illegitimate daughter, wants nothing more than to break free of her stifling life and have a grand adventure. When she is taken prisoner by a savage human invader, ripped from her home and dragged through the wilds, her wish comes true in the worst way imaginable. Lord Raiden, infamous warrior and master of the seas, has no interest in the Fae, not unless he's slaughtering them in battle. When he is charged with kidnapping the king's headstrong, stubborn, beautiful daughter, he finds himself bewitched by her sharp tongue and withering glares. That sounds class.
I'm adding all of these to my Amazon wish list. Wowzer.
Yeah, that's book 1 of 4.
Now sign me up, Amy Clinton.
I know.
So, should we get on to our questions?
Yeah, shall we?
What was your favourite part of the book?
I had loads of favourite parts of this book. As I've already said, all the titles, the chapter titles are like really witty and funny. And the wit throughout this book is hilarious. And Eliza is a Liza, not Eliza. So when she meets the witches, and she says, "Oh, what's your name?" She says, "Oh, Eliza with an A." But because they take everything so literal, then they're like, "This is Eliza with an A, the mortal queen."
Funny.
Like, do you know, everyone says Eliza with an A. And it just, I don't know, every time I read that, it fucking tickled me because I was just like, oh, she's brilliant. But her inner monologue is fantastic. She's hilarious.
Did you race to the end, or was it a slow burn?
So I would have raced to the end had I not started it like 6 weeks prior by accident. Because when I'd read like 30% and then obviously I put it down because I had to read so much other stuff for the podcast, and then came back to it weeks later. But like that second 70%, like I flew through. So it's not that it was a slow burn. It's
took a break.
Because of the way I read it.
Yeah.
I would have raced to the end had I read it. I'd have read it in a sitting or two.
Love that. Which scene has stuck with you the most? Or is it one of those ones you can't talk about?
I'll try and talk about it without ruining anything. I think it's going to come as no surprise that she wakes the 2 princes up. I think, you know? And they're almost like good and bad. Two sides
of a coin.
Yeah, angel and devil on your shoulder type of thing. And one of them, I won't say which one, and I'll try not to give too much away. She calls them horses with wings. There's a Pegasus in it. Yeah. So he's got a pet Pegasus and he takes her flying on it. And she's like in the clouds and her hair's whipping and she's like putting her hands through the clouds. And I don't know why, I could just really see it in my mind. Like, and it was just a really lovely scene. Like there was a lot of like tense scenes leading up to that. And like some quite sad scenes leading up to that. So that was just like, I don't know, it was just lovely. And like, if you ask me now, like, well, you just asked me what sticks out, but do you know what I mean? Like, if anyone said, oh, I'm reading this book, I'd be like, oh my God, the Pegasus. Like, I just know that it would stick in my mind. Like, it was lovely. It was really nice.
Okay. Would you want to read another book by this author? I mean, you just read all of the series. Yes.
It ends on a hit cliffhanger. No spoilers, but it ends on a,
Yeah. Immediately on to book 2.
Yeah. I have to know.
And obviously her other series sounds fucking class as well.
So nice one, Aimee. I've got fucking 4 books to read now.
Literally 8 books added to the TBR in one sitting. Cheers. What surprised you the most about this book?
The 2 princes. And I really can't say more than that.
That's okay.
But there were some big plot twists that I sort of thought I knew where the story was going. So I was shocked.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How did your opinion of this book change as you read it?
Again, I'm going to try not to give too much away, but a character portrayed themselves one way, but actually were a very different way. And I won't say whether they were better or worse, but I just was not expecting it in the slightest. So that I was like, fuck, she's done me there. Like, because I thought something and now I feel differently. I'm trying not to give anything. Trying to.
Okay.
When Aimee, if Aimee listens, sorry, I don't want to say when Aimee listens, because if Aimee listens, she'll know exactly who and what I'm talking about.
Okay. How does this book's title work in relation to the book's content?
The princes are locked in a tower.
And does this book remind you of any others?
It's really unique in that, like, we've seen a lot of fairy tale retellings, but I can't recall any, like, Sleeping Beauty ones.
Well, particularly where, like, roles are reversed.
Yeah. So, like, the whole, like, real world, fae world, it did sort of give me Frost by C.N. Crawford.
Okay.
There's one scene in this book, and I won't give anything away, but there's a scene in this book that really reminded me of Nesta's 10,000 Steps. I'm not saying that this book is like A Court of Silver Flames, but there was a scene that really reminded me of Nesta's 10,000 Steps, and like that was quite nice. Like I was like, oh, like this is giving me this. Maybe like her like wit and stuff. She reminded me of Bryce. She reminded me of our main character in Bride, whose name I'm blanking on.
Misery.
Oh my God, how could you forget that her name is bloody...
Yeah, it was like it's something really unforgettable. I was like, how are you forgetting this?
Yeah, she gave me like Bryce, she gave me Misery from Bride. Like her wit, honestly, it was a joy to read. And like a real person. Yeah. Like really like 3-dimensional in that like I was laughing at things that she was saying. And I think because she came from the real world, like the real world references, showing her photos on her phone, because her phone was in her pocket. So like she didn't have any service or anything, obviously, but like she had her phone. So she was like showing people like photos and stuff and taking photos. Like, I don't know, there was just something like really like real about it.
Yeah, I love that.
But it was class, honestly. Ooh. It was so good.
I love that. Oh, anything else? I think that's everything for our author spotlights, right?
Yeah, I always feel like when we do these, like, I haven't said enough, but like I genuinely, but I genuinely can't. Like, all I can tell you is how good it was and how like much it made me laugh and how enjoyable it was. But other than that, like, go and read it because I can't. Like,
well, that's the point of these. Like, we wouldn't have picked them if we didn't think everybody should go read them all.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. But yeah, I wish I could tell you more, but I can't.
Okay.
But it's really good.
Okay. Lovely. Well, next, at the end of this month, it's me with Shot in the Dark.
And you're to blame.
Oh, I can't wait to sing that the whole fucking way through.
You give love.
I'm going to have to add this. Dublin and Kendallsea?
Yes.
Yeah.